Hi there, I'm Jordan from Mishon Mackay Lettings, and today Rob Starr from Seico Property Group is joining me for a chat. I've asked Rob to come in because I think it's important that as a company and on behalf of our clients we do a little bit of research as to what is available in terms of mortgages, etc. for our landlords. And I've got a couple of questions that's really interesting for myself, but I'm hoping will benefit you guys as well. So Rob,
Hi.
welcome.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about Seico and what you do and your processes, etc.
Well, Seico's a mortgage brokerage. We're independent, which means we're not tied to any one lender. We get to choose how we work and what lenders we work with. We've been established now 30 years. It was 30 years last year. So we're long in the tooth and I think pretty good, know our stuff pretty well. Our process is really personal, really personal. I mean, obviously we've got all the IT everyone would expect a company to have in these days. But when it comes to working with our customers, we like to talk to them. And actually sort of a 10-15 minute phone conversation with one of our brokers, we can establish very quickly what our customers' needs are and what our customers want to do. And mortgages, whilst a lot of people think it's often based on just the property, the reality is what somebody wants is based on what they want to achieve.
Right.
The property is almost the secondary part of that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just a very engaging, simple process.
There's a lot more kind of customer-based, bespoke package rather than a fixed process.
Yeah, I mean, probably more so in terms of landlords than residential. You know, when you're buying your home, your residential property, it's very much it is very much property focused for you. When you're buying a property as a landlord, are you looking for long-term rent? Are you looking for property growth more than rent, or is rent the important bit? Are you looking to not worry about any of those things today, but it's more about building a portfolio of properties?
Yeah.
So actually what you're trying to achieve over your lifetime is actually probably the most important thing we want to establish before we start looking at what you can borrow, how much, what it will cost. It's more about your aspirations as a landlord.
Well, I suppose that's really interesting, isn't it? That you can totally adapt to what it is, what level of service that you're prepared to offer based on the client and what actual needs that they have. So that's...
Of course, absolutely. I mean, business should still be about people.
Yeah, definitely.
And owning properties is no different to any other business. It is a business.
Yeah.
And it's down, and we've all got our own desires and needs in our life, and our business and our property should fit into that, not the other way around. We shouldn't be governed by that. We should dictate what we want to do. So
definitely.
Yeah, you know, that sort of 10-15 minute chat with one of our brokers, actually we can very quickly establish what it is you're trying to achieve and go, okay, this is the approach which we think we should take for you.
Yeah, and have you got access to the whole market, or have you got certain lenders that you work with particularly?
I mean, in terms of access, we've got access to the whole market. So because we're directly regulated and we've been in business so long, there isn't actually a lender in the UK we can't work with. It's saying that we actually have facilities of virtually every lender around the world. We do a lot of foreign mortgages too.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just UK based, but if we're looking at the UK, we've got access to every single lender. But of course, we're always going to have the ones who we work closely with. We don't get paid by one lender more than another. So when we decide who our favourites are, it's based on their service.
Right.
It's based on how they treat our customers and how they treat our brokers. I would say we've probably got maybe 30 lenders who we transact with on a daily basis. But outside of that, maybe a client has got certain quirks or something which actually they need something more specialist with, and then we can look at that.
So a question that I get asked regularly, or an issue that I get faced with regularly, is clients that are most of our, a lot of our clients are circumstantial landlords, so they haven't got massive portfolios.
No.
So for them, when something quite major occurs that requires financial outlay to improve or maintain, the question is, I haven't got the money, how do I raise the money? So would that be something that you could help our landlords with?
For sure. I mean, again, when you're looking at a buy-to-let property, we don't have to look at your income. The income, which dictates how much you can borrow, is based on the value of the rental of the property.
Right.
So what you often find is that people, their rent can actually allow them to borrow more than they currently owe. So we can often release capital from the property to enable them to invest in the property, which then often can then increase the rental value as well.
That's the plan.
Kind of becomes self-fulfilling, doesn't it? Then?
Yeah, of course.
Equally, pulling out capital from the property to buy a second property.
Yeah. Okay, great. So obviously another question that a lot of our landlords ask is about consolidating their mortgages. So they've got multiple lenders.
Yes.
So
not unusual.
quite often I would imagine, I'm assuming that they're probably not getting the best rate with mortgages split, or is that
well,
not always the case?
No, I mean, I guess it's down to who you've got
yeah,
representing you and how good the job they've done, I guess,
Yeah.
right? So there are two ways of doing it. On a traditional buy-to-let, you're going to have a different deal for every property. And that may be a different lender for every property. Does it matter? Actually, no.
Okay.
If you've got a good broker, and I would suggest that's us, but if you've got any good broker looking after you, they should better keep a schedule of your properties, who the mortgages are with, when those deals come up, when to contact you to renew them or replace them.
Yeah.
So having multiple lenders over multiple properties, as long as you can sleep well and you don't worry about things being in different places, then actually you're possibly getting a better deal by doing that, because different lenders are stronger for different properties in different areas.
Got you, yeah.
That aside, yes, you can consolidate. That falls into the commercial side of lending. We have a commercial department, so we do that, where a landlord says, well, actually, I'd like to borrow 60% or 70% of my total property value.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, rather than taking a bit out of this one and a bit out of that one, if you consolidate your properties, you can say the total value is X, the total outstanding is Y. Can we increase the Y based on the X? So it's definitely doable. But if you've got multiple properties with multiple lenders, it doesn't mean you're getting it wrong. There's just different ways. There's always different ways of doing stuff.
But that's the kind of advice that you would be able to offer. So whether you're a landlord with one property, whether you're a landlord with 5, 6, 7, however many, it doesn't matter. I think essentially, if you think that Seico can offer you any kind of advice, then
you talk to us. It costs nothing to have the conversation. We work very closely with you guys. Our job is to represent you and treat your customers as you treat your customers. So. A customer wants to phone us just for advice and nothing else, we're there. We're not going to charge you that. It's an absolute pleasure. But the starting point is always a phone call. I mean, I think that's always the starting point with us. Have a chat with us, get to know us, let us get to know you, and then we can find out what's best for you.
Yeah, it might not be immediate. That's okay.
Often it isn't. Often it's planning and looking a little bit further down the road. But knowledge is everything. It's good to speak to us before you do something.
Yeah, indeed, rather than
regretting that you didn't speak to us first. Yeah,
well, thank you so much, Rob.
You
certainly answered a lot of questions that I get asked regularly, but I'm sure there are thousands of other questions.
Ask away anytime you want. No problem.
You will regret saying that. So yeah, like I said, if you've got any questions that are in relation to your property finance or remortgaging, borrowing more money to purchase another property for your portfolio, then please don't hesitate to get in touch. And like I said, I'm Jordan, Mishon Mackay Lettings. My contact details will be below, and I can of course refer you to the appropriate person within Seico.